I used to have a tradition with the senior boys in my house when they'd finished their A-levels, and before leaving school we would go for a final one-to-one chat in the local pub in the village. And I'll never forget, I was right in the middle of my radiotherapy and at the end of what I call my annus horribilis, and was as weak as I can remember being. And I shuffled, and I'm not exaggerating when I use the word shuffle down to the local pub, where I met a boy called Ben, who was actually the head boy of the school that year. And Ben said to me, "Sir, I don't really want any of your questions," and I'd usually ask the same old questions about best bits, the most valuable things you've learnt at school and all that sort of stuff. And I met Ben, and Ben said to me, he said, "Sir, I don't want any of your questions." I thought, Ben, it's taken me half a day to get here. He said, "Sir, I want to know how you've got through this year." And that really caused me to think, and actually I often think this is something really valuable for all young people to put in their pastoral pencil case when they journey on through life. Do you know what? We do have lows, we do have times of challenge, and how we respond to them is often what really makes us. Do we give up? Do we get up? And I said to Ben, well, I do have a bit of a mantra, and I said, it's strange, it's this sense of irony, because it does involve looking, yet I can't really see. And I said to him, firstly, we must look up. And I'll often say to people, I'm not trying to sort of spiritually evangelize, but my faith has been all important on this journey. Sometimes lying in the high dependency unit at Frenchay Hospital, my dorm mates, the other people in the ward with me, would sometimes have screens put round them and they were gently ushered out the room because they had died. And that was the point I realised, back to the boarding school kind of parlance, my dorm mates were dying. And I thought, wow, I'm not well, what's going on here? And that wasn't a case of God, why? It was God, how do I get through this? How do I get through? And that's another talk, but my faith has been so important. And the second thing I said to Ben is that we must keep looking forward. I always say that the past is a great teacher. We can learn from it when things go wrong, but it's a shocking master. We mustn't hold on to the past and not let go. Keep looking forward. That's where the hopes, the possibilities, the opportunities are. They're in front of us. They're not behind us. Keep looking forward. And then the last thing I said to Ben is the value of looking out. I'll often share that the first 5 minutes of each day, even 6 years later, are so difficult. I find myself waking up and I might have been dreaming about something rather lovely, and I open my eyes and think, oh, it's not a bad dream, it's reality, I can't see. And then because of my balance, I walk into a door frame, bang, I just stub my toe and I can't see. And that's the point where you just want to jump back into bed and say, I can't, I give up. And you know what, in life you can't do that. And I then hear the words of Winston Churchill loud and clear, who in the war said, we've got a choice. And it is that word choice that I again use so pointedly. We are the CEOs of our own journey. And the choice is, do we give up and jump back into bed and pretend all is okay? Or do we get up? And I often find one of the most compelling reasons for getting up is thinking about other people, realising that life is more about giving than it is about taking. Life's not about us, it's about others. Be a server, be a giver. And at the end of talking to Ben, he said, "Sir, I think you got to talk there." I said, "Oh, how nice, Ben, thank you." And he said this, he said that if a UFO should hit your life, something unexpected, something you're not expecting or realise was there, he said you respond with UFO by looking up, forward and out. What we don't want to do is the opposite, and to look down and to look back and to look in. As I always say, that's a dangerously bleak individual. But we must remember that the choice is ours.